Hello people, I'm just gonna try to keep this video kind of short. I'm just gonna show a program that I made a little while back and was thinking about making a video about, but you know, whatever. So anyway, what I'm gonna show you is BFPL, which stands for Brandon Folt's Programming Language. It's a very small, very simple programming language that, well, it's an interpreter, but it is a programming language that I wrote in Visual Basic 6. And basically, I'm not gonna like teach you it or anything like that. I'm just gonna basically show you some simple stuff about what it can do, how the syntax looks, and stuff like that. And you can play with it later if you want to, because I'll link you to the place where you can download it. And so yeah, pretty much let's just go ahead and get started. BFPL in itself, its programs are .bfpl files, and pretty much you just make them in Notepad. Like here, I'll open this one in Notepad, and you can see the code right there. It's fairly simple once you understand it. I mean, I know it's pretty confusing when you first start off with it. I mean, I wrote the language and I'm still confused when I write stuff in it, which is why I don't write much stuff in it, because it's confusing as crap. But either way, it is pretty simple, and once you get the hang of it, you can do stuff pretty easy. But anyway, the language itself, I don't even remember how many instructions it has total, but it's not that many. It's like, I don't know, 20 some odd instructions, basically just for simple input output commands and things like that, mathematical commands, file saving, file opening, string editing, stuff like that. All the stuff you would see in a pretty simple high-level language. So I'll just go ahead and show you how I would write a program in BFPL. I'm just gonna write a little Hello World program. Go ahead and open up Notepad, and we can the first thing is fnumv, which stands for function number of variables, and this lets us set how many variables we are going to use in our program. And this is pretty much just, you know, declaring the variable, so I'm just going to use 999 just because that's pretty much it. Comments are done the same way as Visual Basic and Free Basic and a lot of other languages, with a little apostrophe, and I can do like, blah, this is a comment. And the thing about my language is there's no direct input. You have to set variables and then use those variables. What you'll see right here, I'll show you in a sec. So set v of function set variable, what variable we want to set, 001, what we want to set it to, hello world. Fairly simple, but for some people that are used to like C or Basic, it's going to look a little weird, but that's how it works. And so that sets the variable 001. There's an array. You can have up to 32,768 variables in this language, which I don't see anybody ever using all of, because that's a lot of variables, and this language isn't really meant for using all that, so pretty much just, you know, stick with the basics. But I just made this for fun, and I'm just going to show you about it. So there we set the variable 001 to hello world, and then we can display a message box with it by doing msgb, which is function message box, and which variable contains the message we want to display, and we do 001, and after that I can do fnp, which is function end program. So I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop as, you'll see when I do this here. I'm going to save it as hello.bfpl. Make sure you have all files selected so that it'll save it as whatever file type you select, and not a .txt. So we can save that, and that creates a new thing on my desktop. I'll just move this out of the way so you can see it. And I already have it registered and set up. How you basically register it so it runs with the program, you can go right click it, go to open with, choose the program, and make sure you select always use this program. So basically we're going to double click it, it opens up, and you see the very simple program that I just wrote, hello world. And then it closes, of course, as I wanted it to. And Included with it, there's a couple different programs that I wrote. One shuts down your computer if you want. Well, don't run it if you don't want to shut down, but that's the code. It's really simple. A number checker, which I'll run that real quick just to show you what it does. Enter a number between 0 and 10, and it'll tell me whether it's less than 5, 5, or more than 5, and then ask me if I want to do another one. I'm going to say 7, or 8 actually, yeah, whatever. And the number's greater than 5, yes it is. And do I want to do another? No, I don't feel like it. So, and just for that simple program, all this code, which I can't fit into this little window that I'm recording in, but it's, I don't even know how many lines, probably a good 30, 40 lines there just to write that simple program, which shows the extensive number of lines that are needed in my program to write something very simple. And here's just an example of an if statement. It's function if variable, this variable, and this decides whether it's equal to, and then the other function is greater than. And this variable is whatever to this variable, and if it is, it does the code under it until it reaches end if. Pretty simple, and then these are just setting variables for whatnot. But if you read the README, you should be able to get a hang of it pretty quick. That is, if you know some stuff about programming and how it works and whatnot. And then some other programs, file functions, saves and deletes files from your hard drive, and then reads them and tells you what they are and blah blah blah. And BFPL, instructions per second. It's just a little program that I wrote to do a loop in. This has the speed of BFPL. That just did 1,000 addition problems in a loop pretty quick, eh? Yes, it kind of is. It's not much slower than Visual Basic itself, because this was one of the most efficient programs I've written in quite a while. The whole language itself in Visual Basic code is only about 500 lines, and I'm just taking a wild guess here, but each instruction, to execute each instruction, probably only goes through about 20 lines of Visual Basic code. So it's pretty quick. And so yeah, this is just the loop. This right here sets how many loops you want to do. That's 1,000, and then that's a comment, line 9, blah blah blah. Adds 1 to a certain variable. I'm not going to explain anything in detail, and then go to 10. Line 10 is right here, so it goes back to this, does that, and then it checks whether it's at 1,000 yet or not, and when it is, it gives you the message that just did 1,000 loops pretty quick and ends the program. So yeah. And age, name, how old are you? 15. And in the console window it displays you're 15 and your name is Brandon. That's just displaying the string splitting and modifying and all that functions that you can do. And so yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the language. It's really simple, just, you know, basic Windows stuff if you want to mess with it. And so yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. It's, if you have a minute free or something and you want to mess around in a new language, it could be just something to mess with. So yeah, so that's that.